What's up with everyone being mad at Chappell Roan? All I've seen the past few months are the occasional clips of her talking about how being famous is exhausting sometimes, and how she doesn't consider herself qualified to be a political leader. In the comments of these videos, she usually gets crucified. What's up with that? Is there something else about her I don't know? Answer: these comments in your linked thread answer it very well. She basically capitalizes on certain cultures, but when it comes down to it, she walks it back and shows she's incredibly performative with how she handles herself. It's okay to be a pop star that is not politically motivated, but the cultures she champions are inherently political. Her music targets specific communities that are adversely impacted in politics, but she refuses to take a stance while also claiming those communities. Before this, she also canceled some of her tour and blamed it on mental health, which was her effectively using mental health as an excuse to justify screwing people over that bought flights and hotels to see her perform. She didn't have to perform or book those shows, so her using her mental health as an excuse is another part of the self-victimization that you see people say about her. Comment 1 from your linked thread. I get so irked when I see her because she is so self-victimizing. She chose this life none of us really choose, the 9-to-5, entry-level, dead-end bullshit jobs we have to work avoid homelessness. I'm sure it is incomprehensibly exhaustive being an artist, but I wish so desperately that she'd stop complaining and self-victimizing so much. Comment 2. Listen, I used to be a huge fan. I was even one of the people who helped create the Chappell Roan subreddit. But at this point, I just can't defend her anymore. The whole how famous people find the time to be politically educated. Like, is she even for real? She's a lesbian, claims to be a drag queen, but avoids talking about queer rights and doesn't seem to know much about politics? It feels kinda performative, like she doesn't actually care about LGBTQ+ rights. She could literally do a 5-minute Google search and see that Democrats and Republicans are not the same thing. For example, she refused to endorse Kamala Harris, despite knowing how crucial it is for the queer community to have influential figures speak out against Trump, a man who has made it clear he despises trans people, drag performers, and the LGBTQ+ community as a whole. For someone who claims to be a lesbian, she seemed completely indifferent to that reality. Any lesbian, or really, anyone in the LGBTQ+ community TBH, knows how incredibly difficult it is to exist in a world that constantly judges and marginalizes them. But she doesn't seem to acknowledge that struggle. Instead, it feels like she only represents the parts of queerness that benefit her. The way she approaches her queerness feels largely performative, as if she's more focused on maintaining an image than genuinely embracing or advocating for the identity she claims. It's truly disappointing to see someone with so much potential and visibility completely neglect advocating for the community they claim to belong to. She really needs to take the time to educate herself, do some research on politics, and get informed. No PR team can fix being this out of touch with reality. Queer people know that our identities and politics are deeply connected. We face judgment every day and understand how important activism is in protecting our rights. If someone who claims to be queer says they don't care about that, politics, or even taking the time to learn about it, they're either ignorant, privileged, or not really part of the community. She's being cancelled in most queer and LGBTQIA+ subs, especially within lesbian communities, and it's not hard to see why. It seems people are finally waking up to the fact that she comes off more as performative than the gay icon many once believed her to be. Before this, she also cancelled some of her tour and blamed it on mental health, which was her effectively using mental health as an excuse to justify screwing people over that bought flights and hotels to see her perform. I just want to point out this was actually done so that she could attend a taping at the last second. She cancelled, then basically said, "Tough shit, your loss, deal with it," to everyone. Wrong on multiple levels. Very shitty to do. You can't make a part of your music and personality LGBTQ+, then say shit like she has been. You can't say you're not able to keep up with everything when people in far worse positions and conditions than her can. Why is she admitting to being ignorant and almost seem proud of that fact? I've been hesitant to get on the Chappell Roan train for a long time because I had a bad feeling about her, but shit like this and the privilege oozing out of her let me know that was the right call.